Okay, we have another breakdown. This one is going to be a first for me, actually. It's going to be a combat jiu-jitsu breakdown, and I've been really interested in this particular rule set for a while now. Essentially, it's just a EBI rule set um, with open palm strikes and slaps. So those two are very different things. So this will be my first match to actually take a look at. I haven't really watched many matches for the combat jiu-jitsu, but I do find it very interesting. It does change the game quite a bit, obviously. I believe that once your opponent takes a knee, gets two knees on the ground or their butt on the ground, that's when you actually start throwing palm strikes and slapping. Yeah, I'm curious to do some breakdowns on these and see how different the actual jiu-jitsu and the grappling actually is. So before we get started, though, make sure you click on the link in the description where you can get access to all the strength and conditioning programs for the Sweet Science of Fighting Underground, and you can also submit your own footage to be broken down. So that being said, it looks like we have, I think, Andrew Tackett, and Davis. So let's get started here. Let me go ahead and fast forward a little bit. It looks like Eddie Bravo is the ref. Okay. All right. So probably see a little bit of wrestling, obviously. So as I always say, it's always hand fighting, checking responses, checking timing, doing some feints here and there, just see what the guy's response is. Both these guys very athletic, so it's going to be pretty fast paced. I don't know what the weight is on these guys. I'm assuming 170 maybe, 180. Okay, there's a shot. That was a pretty far shot. Sprawl. They're back up. Another shot. Takes a shot back. Have a guillotine here for possibly. Oh, and he ducks through. So that's interesting. It looked like, it appeared to me he was going to be setting up a kind of a duck through here. This duck through actually does work. I've seen this several times actually recently now. I think this is kind of a move that is done pretty frequently now in high level if they actually are able to get a hold of your neck. I will say that this is something that you cannot be hesitant at. You really have to kind of go for it. Just right there. So that was actually beautiful. David just popped him over. So now we're back up. Some hand fighting. It's all about head position. Takes a shot, big sprawl. And looks like Andrew turns that corner to try to get the single. He picks the single up. And now we have an over. Got a whizzer here. Overhook on the side here. Andrew looks like he may be picking the leg here to bring it to the outside. But he switches to the trap the leg, do a trip to the back, switches to the body lock, get access to the back. Davis seems to have lost his whizzer here. And then roll through. That's pretty standard stuff. Once you start getting typical, what happens is once somebody gets to your back now with the body lock and you're kind of in a standing position, you immediately go into a forward roll. I've been seeing this more and more. So this seems to be the answer these days. Kind of holding onto his foot there for a second. There it is right there. So he's holding on his foot. So Andrew can get to get the full turn there to either pass or to maybe go underneath and start to attack his back. So we can hold on to this foot here for a minute. Okay, so that's interesting. So he throws the leg over. He's throwing the leg over to go to a backside, possible backside 50-50. Andrew recognizes this and pins that bottom leg. This is a very important thing that happens here. I teach this in some of my leg lock escapes classes. It's interesting enough on the backside 50-50 in a lot of these reaping positions when you're facing away. Sometimes it's very important. Sometimes it's critical to actually pin the bottom leg here so that you can get your knee line, at least the knee line for the trap leg, to get it on top of at a minimum on top of the person's thigh. You want typically your knee to be on the outside of the person's hip instead of on the inside. That was a good switch. Now going into double outside ashi. So this, if Davis decides to turn this into a double outside ashi, then he's going to be Andrew should be stacking, looking for the back here because he's got a heavy leg, and his knee is actually over his toes. So this is going to give him a slight advantage to attacking the back. Not the end of the world for this position, but now we could actually see some striking. What I've actually noticed in the few combat jiu-jitsu tournaments that I've watched is, leg locks seem to be a prime a prime target for these open palm strikes, like striking down. You can strike up, but obviously, if you know anything about striking, you can't generate as much force striking from the bottom than you can from the top, obviously. So we might see some strikes here. Bang. Okay, that was just a good slap. There's a slap back, like a palm strike back to Andrew there. It does see. So that was interesting. He immediately let go of the position. The leg entanglement got another smack. Now we're going back into another leg entanglement. Davis needs to be very careful here. Even though he's got a good, he really has to get his left leg reaping here to get Andrew to actually bring Andrew's head over in this direction to get a full reap on the leg. If he does this, if this left leg doesn't get a full reap, he's going to be still facing down, or Tackett's going to be facing down at Davis here and can start throwing some strikes. So look, he's taking his time here. Again, see how the knees over the toes here. Andrew's really heavy. The reaping position is not very strong because Davis is flat here. Davis needs to be on his right side here, trying to throw a reap in this direction, or he could go to this direction, go to double outside ashi, but that may not be such a good idea because again, double outside ashi is typically, well, what can I say about double outside ashi? It's a good position, but it's a very difficult position to really get good at because you have to really understand how to reset the position. There are many ways to reset the position of double outside ashi, but a lot of people argue today that double outside ashi is actually a bad leg lock position because of the vulnerability that you have for back exposure. And of course, now with combat jiu-jitsu playing that here, you're going to see that there's going to be open palm strikes available. So I would definitely. Sorry, I got to plug my computer in here. I would say even in combat sports or not, I would say double outside ashi is probably within the 9 positions of leg locks that I'm aware of. It's probably lower on the totem pole there. Boom. That was a palm strike. That was another palm strike. So this is just a terrible position. I mean, you can see, Andrew's heavy on this leg here. He's got a good post. Look at the post out here on the left leg. He can generate a lot of force here, downward strikes. So these are actually palm strikes. This is not just a slap. So you can see Davis starting to cover up here. It wouldn't be wise, I would say, for Davis to really start trying to hit him back here from the ground. I don't think that would do much. Andrew clearly has a better position. He needs to improve his position. That was 3 solid palm strikes. So he switches to a double outside ashi, which is interesting. But you see how he's using this. He's getting his hips up off the ground. There's going to be some back exposure. Notice Andrew's foot here. Okay, this is very important. He's going to, even if, one of the rules with double outside ashi is hold on to the ankle lock. So if you hold on to an ankle lock, they can't actually get a full turn to your back. But in combat jiu-jitsu, it's going to be a prime spot for just, palm strikes. Okay, so it'll be interesting to see what he does here. So again, going facing down with an ankle lock grip. And one of the good resets here that I was talking about earlier for double outside ashi is to actually invert onto that shoulder. If he can invert onto that shoulder, he'll reset with Andrew sitting on his tip, most likely sitting on his butt, resetting back to the double outside ashi position. And from there, he may have enough timing to improve his position and or finish. This is a classic case of why double outside ashi is not such a great leg position. You can see the knees are close together. Andrew's leg is protected. It's bent here. He's getting underhooks. He's close. He's got upper body connection. You can start to turn that back. If Davis loses control of his foot, he's going to get his back taken. But there can be some strikes here if he's not careful. Yeah, so you can see that, Davis is doing a good job. He's really trying to control that hand, not allowing that hand just to get free. Andrew seems to be wanting to go into a grappling here. There's a strike. I was waiting for it. Good covering up for Davis. There it is. So as soon as he lets go of the foot, let's see what happens. That was really good. He rolled through. Brought his knees in, trying to switch to a different leg position. Trying to reap the leg through. Tackett's doing a good job getting double unders on the legs. Turns him over in the turtle position. Now there's 2 hooks. But this was just maybe he was a little dazed by some of those palm strikes. Kind of left his inside position was left wide open. And then now he has his back taken. Yeah, so I think definitely the palm strikes played a big part of this this particular match, I would say. As soon as palm strikes started to hit from double outside ashi, it caused a lot of positions that would normally be somewhat manageable, less manageable. So this makes sense. It sucks to get hit in the face. So yeah, that was a pretty good match. It was very short and well played. Positionally, it was good. And again, I think this is a case in point to going into leg locks in a combat sport environment. This is going to be. You really have to be super active with it. You can't stay too long in these positions, especially double outside ashi. I wouldn't say that. If you had more of a reaping position, say like a honey hole or more like a sambo knot, however you want to refer to it, this would be a better position because it gets the person's head away from you, right? It gets them facing the opposite direction. But these guys are super high level, so easy for me to say. All right, so that was good. All right, so that was a good one. I'm going to do a couple more. I saw a couple more that seem interesting to me, and I haven't watched them, so this is even more fun. So that'll be it for this one. It was a short 12 minutes, and I'll do another one here shortly. All right, thanks.